So I was quiet, and then somewhere in the house, my wife is yelling, "Hey, buddy!" So I just
Toy Domination is what Dom wanted to say.
We've got
We're
people in the background
to Delta
yelling.
17 O-ring toy line makers, and I'm excited.
So I am not a huge O-ring fan, and I have addressed this. But I am constantly being impressed and resold by these indie lines popping out. Whether it's Hidden Force, we saw these at Joe Fest, and they're really impressive. So I am not saying that. I've always said I'm a hypocrite, so nothing has changed there. But Ken from Toy Kennections actually had to go take a leak at the worst timing. So we're gonna stall. Oh, he's there. Okay, hey, and then we got Steve G. Let's go ahead and bring out Ken.
Oh, okay.
One of our guests.
Sure. Ken from Toy Kennections is here, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look at you.
Oh,
goodness
belt
gracious.
Too, man, bringing it out. Oh, yeah, it's the Sarge's birthday recently, yeah?
Happy birthday, Sarge. We love you. We miss you. Well, we just saw you 2 months ago, but we still miss you. So, anyway. Love
Ken,
the music.
Thanks so much for being here, man.
You know what? It's been a long time coming. I feel like that I connected with Dom like close to a year ago, and then Joe, I've kind of known you like just on and off, and then we met at Joe Fest as well. So
I was gonna say I don't think we've ever actually been on a stream together.
We have not, and like it's one of those things that like I've always thought, you know what? I should give Joe a ring sometime. You know what I mean? We talked a bit about this, you know, and like it just feels like it's been a long time coming to be on here. So yeah,
to be on here with.
Well, with both of you, but yes, first time with Joe, actually, now that I realize it.
That's right, yeah. And then also we've got backstage our very special guest tonight.
Who is it? It's Steve from Delta 17.
Steve, what's up, buddy?
Nicely done. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you since Joe Fest.
Yeah, sorry about that. I almost missed the freaking stream. It's been the weirdest couple of days, dude. It's horrible. I was just in the middle of changing the tire on my van. We're down to one vehicle with 4 kids, and they're all like, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta go to school, I gotta go meet a friend, blah blah blah. So I've been driving kids for like 4 hours today. So
you just throw a spare tire at them and then come inside.
yeah, pretty much. I was just out with the breaker bar just now, and Ken messages me. He's like, "Are you coming on soon?" I'm like, "To what?" I'm like, oh, it's the 31st. Holy cow! Like I just have no track of time, man. That's just awful.
So a couple of things, right? I mean, first off, that's why you've been quiet the last couple of days. I noticed since Tuesday you've been a little quieter on the phone than usual. And then on top of that, when I get asked what do you do for Delta 17, I'm like, in some ways, I'm actually Steve's manager. In some ways, you know.
It's like wake up, you dumbass. Yeah,
sorry. I really appreciate the fact that how many Canadians we actually have come onto this show. Like listening to you, and then Rad, and then we got Pirates and Ken. And then of course Adam from Go Figure. I'm just like, man, we have a lot of Canadian friends coming here.
Yeah.
What is it about Canadians and toy YouTubers that
G.I. Joe? No, specifically, like it's like the Bond, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's great. Go ahead. So. Really quick, let me jump in the chat here. We've got Pirates of the Galaxy. Speaking of Canadians, what's going on? Yep, here before Bjorn too. Usually he's jumping in with his first Schmebulok, but you're the race, man. Rad Toy Galaxies. I saw Bjorn jump in, so I know he's okay. And then one of our members here, Task Force Figure Games. What's up, Steven? How you doing, buddy? And then Neil Hill, I'm glad. We had a post that said, hey, After Dark, members only. He was like, what? This is members only? I'm like, no, man, go to the other show. That one's open.
I just messaged him. I'm like, the link is in my community tab, Neil. You're good to go. Because Neil does not miss anything Delta 17. And
that's awesome.
So. He's very, very kind, yeah.
That's awesome.
And Will as well. He never misses anything Delta 17.
Feel him.
Hey, Will.
Always be able to get to see here. Hold on. I've got Outer Multiverse. Another one of our awesome members here. Oh, Bjorn with a sup losers. That's not Schmebulok. And then Perfect. Famine Studios. We were just actually in a chat right before going on here too. And then my chat suddenly just froze here. Oh, here we go. Okay. And then Dale Stanford. Another member. Thanks so much for jumping up recently, Dale. Recent member to the channel. Timbo Toys. I'm about to pause. I always have to like stop at a certain point here. Timbo Toys, and that's where we're going to pause so we can keep moving on. Otherwise, we'll be here for a while. So thanks everyone who's jumped out to join this. Remember, there's a members only / patrons only after this at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. If there's a problem with the link, just message me and I will try to I'll send you the link directly. I think I figured out how to include members and patrons there, but I don't want anyone who actually is a part of that community to miss out. If you're not, go ahead and jump in and become a member so you can get access like that. But oh, and then Infinity Torn here said he made it, so I want to make sure if anyone was worried about him too. So Infinity War Torn, he made it. Yeah, thanks guys for being here. Really appreciate it. Before we get into the topic of the night, which is Delta 17 toys, I think Joe, we've got some news. No, you're muted, so I can't hear you.
Nice. It's the news, Dom.
Ken,
I said we might have a little bit of news. Sorry, I was muted.
I know you've seen the stream before. We wear hats of the news, Ken. Steve, who's never been on here before.
It's a news show. You know,
I like it. I like it.
This is part of the segment.
Here's the thing, Dom. There's no news.
There's no news.
There's no news to talk about.
Well, all right.
That was news, sort of.
Honestly, it's better that way.
Sometimes we have things to talk about, and sometimes we don't.
SDCC, after SDCC, I'm like news maxed out. Like, honestly, like I was like, oh my God, there's more stuff to talk
45
about.
minutes of relevant news.
I was like, let's just move on. So, well, good. That means we can jump right in. So I'm going to hand it off to Steve here real quick to just intro what this is for some of the people who aren't familiar with this. What is Delta 17? What can we look forward to here?
Well, okay, just first off, I'm in the middle of hopefully moving across the country. That's why the display that used to be full of hundreds of G.I. Joes is empty and everything looks like utter. Anyways, Delta 17. About 3 years ago, we started working on an O-ring toy line. And, you know, somebody asked me in another stream if I had ever dreamed of doing this. And I was like, yeah, when I was like 13. But since then, I'd never thought it would actually be possible to do this, to actually get your stuff in a factory and get produced and all that. So we've been working for 3 years, and we have 11 different figures. One comes with a different skin tone, so there'll be 12, but one's just a slight repaint. There's a comic book coming with it. The production is taking place right now as we speak. Will be available, I think it'll arrive in port late October, maybe early November. We'll be selling off our website, and we're also talking to a handful of online stores. So we'll keep you guys posted. The best place to follow us right now is probably Instagram. That's the one we interact with the most. Mm-hmm. So
what my impression from seeing this at Joe Fest was that this is continuing on with like a G.I. Joe, very military, not getting to like the ninja too much extreme or eco warriors, but carrying out that root of the actual like militarism of G.I. Joe. And then it has flavor. So I play very, very casually like Modern Warfare, the video game, where you've got this pseudo futuristic, like a glimpse of tech, of military tech, like 10 years in the future, right? It's not sci-fi.
Right.
That blending, like what if G.I. Joe had been brought into like a Modern Warfare type? And every time I looked at it, I was like, I can easily see these as being characters in those video games right now in apps, and then brought to life as toy form. So that is like kind of like the blending of styles I see there, which is a good place to be. Like that's, you know, it's putting a modern twist on an old style figure. So
yeah.
And that's, so why did you choose O-ring though? Because like, again, I'm much more, well, that's not true. I have a huge O-ring collection that I still love, but why did you choose the
we stray into the more modern, you know.
That's right. Yeah. And maybe it's, but why did you choose O-ring instead of like the modern 25th style or Marauder style?
Yeah. Like, or
Yeah. Like I have a lot of modern stuff here too, and that's mostly just because that's all that's available nowadays. As far as where is my heart, it's 100% O-ring. Like I just can't describe. You know, it's one of the weirdest things, but for me, the shine, the shine of the figures themselves is, you know, like 80% of the value to me. I don't know why, but when you look at a basic figure, well, I shouldn't say basic. This is a beautiful figure. it has this weird shine. It just feels solid. It's a beautiful sculpt. It's brilliant. Like this is just pure brilliance. I don't know if it gets any better than this, to be quite honest. And when I look at modern stuff, I love modern stuff. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of it here, and I spend way too much money on it. And I get way too excited when something new comes out that's even just slightly different. Like people are like, oh, a repainted desert snake eyes. Oh, that's just garbage. And I was just like, where, click, add
I want
cart, yeah. So I didn't hesitate at all. Like I love this stuff, but it just, it has a little bit of a cheap feel, just some of the matte looks and some of the weights and some of the ways it isn't necessarily as tight as I'd like. And maybe that's just my preference from how I grew up.
Yeah.
I have no idea. My parents kind of, I don't know if they did it intentionally, but they didn't introduce me to G.I. Joe. We lived in a small town of about 800 people. And by the time I think I was 12 or 11 or 12 was when I first bumped into a G.I. Joe. So I was blown away. I was like, this is beautiful. This is my favorite thing I've seen in the world. It was like the first time I'd heard the Pixies at this one cafe. I was like, who is this? This is my favorite band.
I just heard them. This is my favorite band.
Yeah.
Wait, so what was the allure though when you saw, like, because there's all these toys in the 80s, right? There's just tons of stuff out there. Yeah. What made that jump out more than any of those lines?
Well, I've always been 100% military. I think that life is all about warfare. Like whether or not there is a war going on, you are always at some sort of stage of war against, just maybe evil ideas, maybe the evil lurker who's in the apartment block, the whatever. We live in a battlefield is my way of thinking, right? Like if you're walking down the street, you should always be in a state of preparedness. If you're living in a peaceful little village, you should always be in a state of preparedness. There's no guarantee that tomorrow will be the same as every other day that's been throughout your life. So to me, warfare, being trained, being properly, equipped mentally, physically, and having a good stockpile of lead, gold, silver, etc. is essential. I don't know. I'm 100%. I think the military is the best thing ever. It's sort of like when Nehemiah was rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. They had a trowel in one hand and a sword in the other, right? They were building, but they were also prepared for war. And I think that's a good analogy of how we should just have our mentality nowadays, I guess.
So that's a very Ken, I'll let you jump in here in just a second too. I know I've been talking to Steve a lot here at Dominate, but that's a very Chinese philosophy that you're always in a state of conflict and you're different levels of conflict. Also, what's the quote that the best way to preserve peace is always be ready for war too? It's like those two philosophies. Yeah. So not to wax too much on that subject, but Ken, we also saw you at the booth at Delta 17.
That is true.
What's got you so stoked about this line?
So the thing about O-Ring is, like, I know it's like, why do we gravitate towards O-Ring? In my mind, right, it's when you have the vintage Joes, right, automatically when you think about the cartoon, all the characters, Shipwreck, Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, Destro, whoever, the first thing your brain goes towards is the O-Ring and the vehicles and the play sets that goes there. Your brain is just conditioned that way, right? There's a certain sleekness and a certain style and a lot of accessories and even more posability with the 4-inch figures. But that's so close in scale to the O-Ring figures, you almost have to think one or the other. And your brain automatically associates with what you had as a kid and where you draw the line between that Sunbow cartoon and the original figures, which is why Classified is so different, because it kind of shakes things up in a different scale and leads to the Marvel Legends. You look at the Transformers, the very basic blocky, but they transform. But when you go into the modern figures, they're so different and they have such a different style to them that you look at them differently. My issue with the 4-inch Joes, as much as I love them, is they felt like the second coming that was too close to the O-Ring. You know what I mean? Which is why, like, when I look at Marauders,
too close in time, is that what you mean? Too close in time?
No, too close in scale.
Okay.
Like your playability is basically the same as the O-ring Joes. Like you can't differentiate the two very easily in your mind. Whereas like with 6-inch figures, you go straight to the Marvel Legends play pattern. You know what I mean? Your play pattern with the 4-inch Joes is too similar to the 3 3/4-inch Joes. Is what I'm saying. And
but what does that have to do with choosing O-ring versus like the 25th style?
Yeah,
because our brains were
remember them first.
Because our brains were conditioned that way, and it's just sort of like just instinctively you just started going in that direction.
Don't get me wrong. So like I love the modern style. I like the double jointed knees and elbows or whatever you know like whatever is going on. But that there is something about that O-ring, although it's a solid abdomen. There is something about the versatility of having a rubber band in there for articulation that you weirdly can't duplicate with as many joints as you throw into the center there. I feel like it's just like it's a weird thing that you can like crunch them down into like a prone or a crouching position or cram them into a vehicle or you know, like driver's seat of a tank and then. But for some reason, like the 25th, it's just like it's awkward and like you have to kind of like move them to do it. Like the O-ring just kind of bends into place. Like you can just push them in. And
it does.
There is a certain like level of playability.
And it seems more durable
you know, like,
too. Anyway,
you know, like that way, right? It's just better with an O-ring. Sculpt-wise, I think I prefer the newer modern figures, though. Like I think the faces are more defined and interesting.
Yeah, that's true. You know. That's 100% true.
Steve, did you have a comment on this one, Steve? I heard you trying to jump in there.
Oh no, sorry, I don't mean to be.
Okay.
What have you?
No, you're good.
Yeah, kind of. Like to me, the O-ring is sort of like the third family of toys that are out there. That I think it's time for them to come back, even for children who have no attachment. I mean, you know, you have the modern line and in its various sizes, right? And they're all just different sizes, but they're all basically the exact same style of figure, whether it's Legends or you know, whatever, GI Joe. Yeah. So 6-inch or 4-inch, they're all sort of the same thing. And then with O-rings, you have it's a different style of plastic, a different finish, different articulation and stuff like that. But you know, when kids see it, they're just like, oh wow, you know, I don't know. It's sort of like if you're to chrome up a Spider-Man, you know, it's like, oh, wow, you know, chrome Spider-Man, you know, and you kind of get that a little bit. You get that effect a little bit with O-rings. They do have that shine. They're like that shiny beetle that walks across the grass and just everyone's like, wow, Scarab, you know, so I don't know.
So you love the look of that hard shine plastic on an O-ring figure, Steve?
Yeah, and I think it has a lot of universal appeal. I think it's possibly time for it to come back into...
Hey, what's up, guys?
Just your regular stores. Hey, guys.
Steve, the day the FEP samples, which was our final engineering pilot samples, arrived, one of the first texts you sent to me was, oh my goodness, the sheen and the finish on these. Because we did not have that in our first
Masters.
Yes,
right.
We didn't have that in the Paint Masters, and we didn't have it in the first engineering pilot nor the uncolored test shots. That sheen came in the final pre-factory approved samples. So
like a lot of the Toys R Us exclusive GI Joe stuff, like in you know, when they're doing the box sets with the flag and different things, and you know, some of these GI Joes, they didn't have that sheen to them, and when you take an O-ring and you somehow leave that out, it just somehow looks like a dollar store kind of a figure or something like that. At least the way how GI Joe did it. I'm not speaking about any of the other O-ring companies out there because I'm really excited about everything that they're putting out, and I went all in with all of them. So I'm not talking about
awesome.
I'm not talking about them. But what I'm talking about was what GI Joe did with Toys R Us, their exclusives. They, you know, I collect them as time goes by, but every time I'm kind of like, oh man, these guys look like crap, you know? So yeah, when these finally came in and they had that sheen on them, then I was like, now these guys are awesome. Now I'm excited, you know, now that we've got everything set up and it's all dialed, because it's got to be perfection or we just don't do it, right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So I'm really amped right now. So
here's some divide in the comments here, which is interesting, right? So like I agree with Steven here. So like replacing the O-rings out of the figures, and then Wilhelm toys the same. I always say Wilhelm. It's like it's an ASMR. I'm like, ooh, that's so satisfying. Take the screw out. Ooh,
it's
looping
also,
that.
I mean,
hook.
that's nostalgia. I mean, like replacing those rubber bands. It's something that we did like later on, more in like high school, Don, when we were acquiring collections and stuff. But like, I can remember being a kid and like you know, because they'd be in varying degrees of condition, you know,
Right.
kind of when we absorbs other people's stuff or whatever, or, you know, comic shop buys or yard sales or whatever. But when you were a kid, the first tool I ever owned as a 6-year-old was a little screwdriver that could go into the back of my G.I. Joe. Like, you know, like that was like, my dad was like, showed me how to do it one time. I was like, what? I can take these apart and change them around?
You need a thin screw head. You need a really thin screw head because the really thick Phillips ones wouldn't work.
The jewel screw. But here's the counter to that too, is that replace, just like you said too, like the deterioration of the O-rings too.
Yeah.
That becomes, and we face that more now because we're old, but
the toy is old as well, you know.
Right.
A modern O-ring would take, you know, 7-9 years for it to start degrading.
And we'll look at the individual figures here in just a minute, but to that point too, that is a consideration for like the actual O-ring material too. Like, is it going to break down quickly? Is it something that, like, what did you consider when you use actually, because that's a different type of engineering than just a modern styled figure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we approached the whole idea of maybe going with silicone. They're supposed to last longer, and our product design manager, he's fantastic, one of the best in the flipping world. I don't know how we ended up with him, but I spoke with okay, Ken. Oh, wait, that way.
Yeah, that guy.
Ken found him. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but anyways.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I'm just joking. It's nice. It's good. But an ex Hasbro employee that might be working for us was like, you guys ended up with him? That we're like, yeah, we got him in our corner. He's like the best dude for Hasbro. I don't know why he's gone, if they turfed him or if he went on his own, but the dude was amazing. So we're pretty excited about that. But he said, nah, silicone won't do anything for you. These rubber O-rings are great. So I don't know.
Yeah, they really do last a long time. I think as adults, our brains have this like, oh, they're gonna break or like break down rather, you know. And I'm like, well, that's memories from when we were, you know, or your friends like
we've seen them endlessly.
It depends on how well you take care of them. Like if you put your toys away in a box every night, they're gonna be fine. But if they're like sitting out and baking in the sun every day, you left them in a sandbox or something, those are probably gonna break soon.
Yeah, I mean, like we all have ones that break a lot, but I think that's because all of our collections are like 40 years or 30 or whatever, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they're all like ancient collections.
Yeah,
a modern figure.
Yeah. Let's actually take a look at some of these bad boys too here. And I wanted you didn't. In case this was kind of glossed over at the beginning, this is not a Kickstarter. This isn't crowdfunded.
I did want to talk about that first time.
Done.
Actually.
This is coming out. Like, there's no link. We're not being like, hey, you know,
this
has got to make this gap. It's coming. Right? So
Steve, I mean, you seemed very proud of that at Joe Fest when we were talking to you about it. Like, you were just like, this is done. Like, this is happening. It's going to be, you know. So tell us about that a little bit.
Well, it's in many ways it's surprising me as well. I mean, I've it's been 3 years in development, and I'm surprised that I ever got it out the door to some respects, because I change everything, right? I like to change stuff. If something can be 1% better, I'll be like, stop the presses. We can just add 1%, and I did that for a very long period of time. And my poor sculptors and everyone else that worked with me was holy cow, dude, like, what is wrong with you, right? So so
I asked you that question many times. You would send me a sculpt and you'd be like, we need to move the pockets, we need to make the head slimmer, we need to move the tattoo. And I'm like, Steve, you have already worked this sculptor nonstop. And he's just like, yeah, but I'm going to push this another 5%. I'm like, oh, 5%? At 1%, Steve's already like, putting the nose of the grindstone. But then you see the product at the end, and you see when the sculptor says they're proud of it, right? Yeah. And then it's like, you know what? It worked out okay. There were many times I said to Steve, just accept the sculpt and move to the next one. Nope. And then we see the result at the end. That's when I learned, right? This was in 2021 and 2022. It kept happening. And wow,
what's up,
the product.
Starboy, what's up, buddy?
So since it's not a Kickstarter and you're on your way to producing them and they're coming soon, like, what is it strictly through your website? Are you hoping to do other distribution somehow, or is it just Delta17toys.com?
It'll definitely be through our website, and we're talking to other online stores right now. It depends on what they want and what we want to do. Yeah, that's being decided right now. So we're in discussion.
I know you were talking a little bit to. I don't want to reveal too much behind or something that you might want to talk about per se, but I know you were talking a little bit about like maybe not get like be Big Bad Toy Store or whatever, those kind of places. Not to name that one, but might demand too much or need too much from you.
Well, I don't want to go on record for anything.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, not against a specific place or anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like you prefer to keep it to your own site, correct?
Maybe I can comment a little bit on that, Steve, because I've been exchanging some emails back and forth, and it just comes down to the fact there's a bit of a complexity with logistics with us being in Canada. Right. So trying to get it across the border. Now, where Steve moves, hopefully he can find a shipping depot in the U.S. across the border and make it work and not have too many questions across the border. So, like, it's a little different. Like, if you have a business in Canada, but like your partners in the U.S., you get everything shipped there. It's easy to get it to the online retailers there.
Gotcha.
Us here, it becomes a case of you pay the extra shipping. No, you got to absorb that. Well, hold on, we need you to buy more product if we're going to absorb that. We don't know how that negotiation and tap dance plays, and that goes for any retailer.
There you go.
Right,
that makes sense.
And then the retailers in Canada are not used to selling the scale. A lot of them only sell the 6-inch stuff, so we can get in a negotiation with them. But then even shipping from Canada to Canada can be expensive. Like for you, like if Joe wanted to ship something to Dom and he used USPS first class, it would be $5. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe 6. If I wanted to ship something to Steve, it would cost me 17 Canadian, which is like 13 US. Just to ship the most basic thing. So for us to be like, well, you might want to take more than one case because once you pad the shipping on,
so that shipping really kills you.
So the Canadian logistics is the biggest thing behind it. When we had that conversation at Joe Fest, and I think maybe we overlooked that in our conversation, but that was the biggest thing in our minds. Right.
Yeah, like I'm working on a real estate deal right now. Well, a couple of them at the same time. We're trying to figure out which place to go to.
Time for anything else?
Yeah, I know, right? I know. But we're packing up the house, fixing up the house, finding a new place, et cetera, selling off a bunch of old stuff, getting the comic book ready, finalizing, the little details of production, talking to the stores and a bunch of other stuff at the same time, all while I'm suffering through fatigue syndrome. So, but it's been like 5 years, so I'm used to it now.
So you're just kicking back and taking it easy then. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
He's going to dial it down.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I log into the Instagram and the Facebook to answer some of your questions. Because Steve's like, I'm packing in early tonight. It's on you, Ken. I'm like, I'm sitting there watching TV.
At the end of the day, whatever you guys figure out, the best place to get your product is from your site.
Well, right now we'll keep everyone posted if it's like, hey, we're going to have our stuff up on blank and we got a great, just go there, whatever.
Nice. That's a good question.
Cool.
Here's a good question. Case size is 24 figures.
Yes. And they're all going to be solid cases. So we don't have any assorted cases. The factory was like, please don't do it. And I was like, all right, no worries.
Okay.
Should we look at these toys that some people may not have seen yet? And I've seen it close. So also your photography for these is really good.
Which is essentially the good guys, quote unquote.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Steve's prepared. Yeah. I'll pull that. Steve, why don't you walk us through what you have there, and then I'll pull up a picture.
I'll go solo.
All right.
There you go.
Let's hope that the focus works.
Teamwork. If you can move that one package in the back, it's got a ton of glare on it, and then that'll
move Leo.
No.
Move Leo.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right.
I shouldn't have asked. Just broke that.
Yeah.
Point.
How dare you?
Yeah, he's totally broken. Irredeemable. Okay, here's Shepard. Let's get some focus. No.
All right, so this is Shepard. He's the Delta 17 squad leader, correct?
Yeah, he's a second lieutenant.
What? Wow.
Yeah, he's
should he be higher ranked, Don?
I mean, I don't know. Are these conventional forces? These look like soft, like special operators.
These are all supposed to be tier 1, tier 2 style.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go. Cool.
So, well, some of our Delta squad are tier 2, but our main characters are all tier 1.
Yeah,
nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that modernization kit. Loadout looks cool. MBG's up there. Yep.
Yeah. Nope. Let me get something to put this camera on here. It's not being kind to me. I upgraded to the expensive one.
Wise transition, Joe. Do you want to pull up the image again?
Yeah.
Yeah, real cool. So one of the things that was
your photography is fantastic on the website for all these characters.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's from Average Guy Collects on Instagram.
Austin. Yeah.
What Joe immediately picked out when we were at the convention was the backpacks and the versatility of the packs and being able to put weapons on there, open up some of them. Like that was really cool. But actually,
you had one of them hollowed. I don't remember which character it was, but you had one of them, and maybe it's multiple. But you had one of them hollowed out where you could like put something inside of it. And I was like, brilliant! Why on earth? the worst part about GI Joe backpacks is that it's a giant hunk of plastic.
Chunk of plastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We have one where we can stick a gas mask in the back. So this guy.
That's right.
Yeah, this guy comes with an extra, master key, so to speak, shotgun here. So that's the KSG shotgun, opens any door.
Nice.
And he's got the shells to fit.
Yep, I was just going to say, yep.
Yeah, he's got 2 rows of shells on his legs there. So we added a bit of brass paint and a bit of red, so it looks really nice. Backpack, the helmet is removable. The NVG goggles, they come out, you flip them around and you stick it back in. So it's
cool.
So it looks like they're
up position.
Like they flipped up into the up. Yeah.
Yeah, here I can do it real quick.
You got it.
You got a bunch of positive comments already for here too. Like love from Jerry Parks, love the modern look. Pirates of the Galaxy, these look awesome. Neil Hill, love the modularity. You had a question: will accessory packs be sold separately?
Not at this time. Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
These guys come loaded out with some good accessories, though.
I agree. They look like they're pretty well kitted up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. Like right now, what we're working on our Wave 1.5 figure that's going to come out hopefully in time for Joe Fest 2024.
Oh,
plus we're getting started on Wave 2 soon, hopefully. But I'm pretty busy over here, so I don't know exactly when we'll jump into that. But we picked up a handful of really amazing sculptors. So they're all chomping at the bit, getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me ask you something specific to this character. Were you the decision to make him I know you can remove his helmet, but the mask is on his face. Like, was that like a Snake Eyes-esque decision where he's going to be covered, or are you going to release a version of that character later on where you show what he looks like under the mask?
Good question.
Well, we'll show what he looks like in the comic book.
Sure.
What we're going to do in the future with the figure himself, I'm not sure. I just wanted to model what I was seeing a lot when I was studying like a lot of these. I'm in the military, so to speak, but I am nowhere near this special operations style. I'm more like the window licking division. So
yeah.
So I actually talked. So we can talk about that in the after dark. So I am in the military, and we talked about what you did with some of my people when I got back from JoFest. Like, what? I'm like, no, it's really cool, right? So you're underselling it. It's really interesting.
It's a unique. Yeah, it's unique. I mean, we get to go play survival for weeks on end.
Very cool.
On remote islands and different things, and get eaten alive by bugs and eat bugs and whatever else. But it's neat, but we're not combat trained, unfortunately, and really all I want to do in this world is just blow things up. So,
I mean, you can. There's nothing really stopping you, but I mean,
I do it on my own time, but
legally,
legally, I want more belt-fed goodness.
There you go. $25 US for the price point for these guys. So, thanks, Stephen, for asking. Yep.
So
also, wait. I just want to say, hey, Rad just joined as our newest member. So, Rad, thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. For those who like the world building, everything, go check out the World Makers Story on Fridays. It's awesome, good content, and they use custom. They do custom every time.
They do, huh? So we've got Preacher here. He's the marksman, sharpshooter.
Nice.
Yeah. So he is he's sporting an old Harley Davidson jacket from the 70s. It's a beauty. And then we got some digital camo on his pants here, a bunch of pouches and some nice brown to offset everything. So he comes with just a couple of items, but I think it's pretty fantastic. He comes with a low-tech M4 for close quarters. Yep. Then he's got a big field backpack, and you can clip both guns onto it. and then he's got a big MRAD sniper rifle with a detachable bipod. And our bipods are fitted actually really nice. Like this.
Oh wow, look at that. That's
this
tight.
is a nice tight fit, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend, popping it on and off like 100 times in a row just for fun. Eventually it might break, but we made it pretty strong.
I'd rather it stay on and then not fall off on me.
That's how I. Yes. Once it goes on, I don't need that to come off anymore. I need it to stay and be able to articulate. But hey, also,
it's all about playability. You want to be able to run around with this toy and not worry about like, oh no, where did the bipod go? Oh, it's lost in the grass.
Pirates also just became a new member too, so thank you so much, Pirates.
Oh,
also,
Pirates,
a brand new YouTube channel. He just put up a work in progress video, a really cool tie combination. So go check that out too. So thanks so much, Pirates.
Yeah, Preacher looks great. Steve looks awesome.
We do need to thicken up his head a little bit because the final sample was just a little bit too thin. Steve, I think we're going to increase the thickness by about 10%. I think.
They just arrived in the mail. I've got a handful of the improved heads here that were just a touch thicker.
Yeah.
I'm always better with more thickness. I'm always good with more thickness.
Thicker is better, right? So.
Oh, one more thing about Preacher. This guy stands 4 inches high. He's supposed to be like 6'3". So we made
wow! There's
you changed this. Wow, that's cool.
That's incredible.
Joe always preaches about that for G.I. Joe Classified. So that's awesome.
I love that Classified took that into account to a weirdly specific degree. Like most Marvel Legends does an okay job. Like other 6-inch lines do an okay job. But Classified did a really, really good job, right out the gate of doing various heights and that's. But at this scale to do that, that's awesome. That you put that much thought into.
I feel like Neil knows the question, his own answer here. But can Preacher actually hold his rifle realistically?
You can hold the small one realistically.
Well, it's got that triangle grip in the front there, which is a little bit easier too. So, Oh man, there you go. Yeah. Clearing a door with that thing. So for these, G.I. Joe classically had a primary MOS that was bigger with the first waves, and then later on it kind of became blurred, right? And then they had secondary.
Right.
Do these all have MOSs or at least a function within the team that they perform?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Shepard's our leader. Preacher is a marksman, but he's also got lots of secondary training. Rooster, he's our comms, but he doesn't really want to be the comms. He just kind of got stuck with it. But he's recon by nature.
There you go. Cool.
They stuck him with the radio, even though the guy doesn't like to speak out loud. So.
Yeah, gotcha.
When the Rooster mumbling all the call for fires.
Sorry, I really love Rooster. He's got this hit and run camo on him. It reminds me of that fully greened out Joe from back in the day. He's a great addition to the lineup. I really like him.
And he's also 4 inches tall. Him and Preacher are going to be the two taller buck.
That's so
right.
Cool.
So you got the standard buck, the taller buck, and the female buck. That's what we have.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, we also have a really wide, Leo is huge, so you could almost say we have a huge buck. But I don't know if you want to go that far. Come on,
you're right. He is.
No, there you go.
When we get to
there you go. Yeah, it's good. Just leave your pretty hand in there. Just leave your hand.
That's good.
There it goes.
All right. Well,
also, I feel like we should have had Neil on as a guest too, because he says swiveling wrists, which is different from your class.
Yeah. That's right. He's filling in all the cracks for us. Thank you, Neil.
Neil and Wilhelm are by 2024 are going to be our Delta 17 super experts.
No,
they'll be the ones reminding us, right?
That's awesome.
We'll be forgetting stuff, and they're going to be yelling it out in the comments.
So swiveling wrists is amazing as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
On top of the size changes within the figures, swiveling wrists is crazy. Here's a question: What's the consistency of their hands? Am I going to be breaking thumbs?
No, it's PVC. So PVC does not break. We have it set, I think, at 85-degree PVC, which is just a way of saying how hard it is. So initially it'll feel a little bit close to the regular ABS, but you'll notice there's a slight flex in it. It's not going to break. But yeah, with swivel wrists, you can do stuff like actually get his hand on that foregrip.
So that is
right?
my big complaint with the old ones is sometimes those rifle grips, you're like bending thumbs to get that stock underneath there, or it looks awkward. Swivel
or
wrist,
once it's in one hand, you have to slide it in at a very precise angle.
Yes, you gotta like cock it.
And then the second you pivot the arms, there goes a thumb or something.
Yep. So I agree with this. Is my Pirates nailed it here. This is a great amalgamation of new and nostalgia, and this is what gets me excited about this line is because it's not a cut and paste, right? It's not. That's why G.I. Joe Classified isn't that appealing to me because that is a cut and paste in different scale. This is like I said, like hey, here's what if G.I. Joe kept going. So this is and the updates you make too. With I didn't know about the different scaling, but the swivel wrist stuff like that, French kiss, like
that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Improving
I don't think
on
you
what
the wrists at Joe Fest.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
That's huge. That's big, and
Son of a.
Being able to, because with that limited, I call it limited, but with the fantastic articulation that an old school G.I. Joe has, having a wrist swivel in there is like that's amazing. You could get them into so many more positions and poses.
Yeah. They look rugged. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Rooster just looks great. He's an awesome figure. Man.
Oh yeah, there's some more features on him here. Like there's it comes with 2 antennas in case you lose one. There's a removable hand. Yeah, it always happens, right? There's a removable handset for the radio.
Oh wow!
And then the radio itself.
Wow.
I'm trying to do it one-handed.
Oh,
comes off. Yeah, it's its own backpack, right? So someone else can carry it, or just Rooster wants to just carry this.
That's amazing.
And then this bag comes off of the frame as well. So
that's cool.
Oh wow!
You should have done a short whip and then a long antenna for when you dismount it. So
Steve, trying to put that back on one-handed is
not going to happen. Not going to.
They had a request to see the female soldier there too. Now she's one of the villains, right?
Well, that one is. We'll get there. Well,
it was a request. She's off camera now. Oh, you want to see her?
We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's look at Leonidas.
All right, Leonidas is up. Okay, this guy.
You would call him your wider buck.
Yeah, he's pretty beefy dude.
I love the dog and the dog bowl. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So we got him a bit tatted up. He's got 2 arms fully done and 1 tattoo on his leg. He's quite a wide dude. Big torso, big arms, big legs. He did not skip leg day, right?
Did not. He is hitting the deadlift.
Never skipped leg day. Yep.
Yeah. And then he's got the dog up on the backpack that pops off. You can turn the dog backwards or forwards. When it came back from the factory, it's got this one eye that looks just wonky, like so off. And I was like, oh, we better wait a minute. No, we're not going to fix that. That looks awesome. This dog is kind of, out of it.
That's great.
So, yeah. And then, so he comes with just a low-tech M4, sort of the classical A2 sight, I think it's called on there. Just the carry handle.
The iron sight? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then there's a removable dog bowl as well, which was the star of Joe Fest for some reason.
People are just like, you can take the dog bowl off?
Yeah. No, people were losing their mind. They're like, a dog bowl? I was like, man, I got to make
it's amazing.
More dog bowls.
Did we get to show you that on test shots when you showed up, like Dom and Joe? Did you?
I don't remember.
Yeah, we saw. We actually took some time with you guys to look over some of the figures, and that was definitely one of the ones that we were looking at. Yeah.
And Steven says all this for only $25. I agree. This is a good bundling per.
We can make them more expensive if everyone wants. Sure.
Steven, you got what you wished for. All right, good.
And they all come with figure stands too. I forgot to say that.
That's
wow. Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's got a little Delta 17 logo on there with the skull and all that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, nice. And this guy was inspired by that operator. Gosh, it's probably been like 10 years ago now, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, definitely not Wenzilla. Wenzilla wishes. Also, I don't think Wenzilla wears cargo shorts, but he does go sleeveless. So, removable ammo would be awesome. Before they counter on that, I would say that Marauders is great with having removable ammo, but I end up gluing all those magazines in because they keep I'm like,
for the most part,
I'm like, cool, but nah. Oh, look at that, spare mag. There you go.
Yeah, the spare mag was they accidentally didn't glue it on to here, so I'm the only guy with a removable mag so far. But in the future, they'll all be glued on. So it's a neat idea, but I don't know. Things get pretty small.
I think
again, in terms of playability, you don't want stuff falling off of the last thing you need is a bunch of empty rifles with no clips on your
true. Like I understand the appeal of playing Barbie doll with your rifle, right? Like, I can put a cog in there, I can put this on there, I can put a laser. Like I get it, or now I have drums, but honestly, like all my router stuff, I'm like, this rifle is permanent. Even my machine guns, I'm like, I don't need the drum to come off. Glue. So, how well do these lend themselves to be customizing? That's from Steven.
All right. Well, for kit bashing, it'll be no problem except for the females. Okay. So the females, they have a very small neck ball. So everything in one of these guys can be swapped over to a G.I. Joe. You know, it's all the same size. The only thing that's a little bit different is our foot hole is a little bit different. Our foot pegs for these guys, they will fit on a G.I. Joe vehicle, but a G.I. Joe figure will not sit on our stand. It's just a touch thinner, but at least you can stack these guys up on an Awe Striker if you want, right?
Yeah.
I noticed that the hole on the bottom was an octagon or a hexagon, maybe, but instead of a circle. Is that for like pulling on and off without, but still providing like a firm grip on the peg, or?
Yeah, we chose to go with that. Just there's less chance of breakage because if it's a circle, onto a cone, you get such a full weld that if something goes wrong, right, you can have chipping or just a crack. So it's like, well, how can we reduce that?
I mean, I've got quite a few G.I. Joes that have the back of their heel cracked off or something.
When that happens,
I mean, they're the older ones, sure, but like that does happen. That's not a completely rare thing.
Yeah.
Well, since you got her out there.
What's that?
Let's talk about Kestrel, the Grenadier.
Yeah, Kestrel.
Because hexagons are the bestagons.
Well, I mean, it provides that you're putting a hexagon on a circle peg.
That makes sense.
But I mean, it has air around it, so it has that. You can take it off.
So we're getting focus here.
Who is Ivana here? I know that's not her name, but
no,
Kestrel.
Magdalena Laska
is scowling at me directly, like she's already offended by me.
Yeah,
Ivana is the other girl. So.
Personally, I just made up. Are you serious?
No, sorry, it's not Ivana. It's Anya. Sorry, my mistake.
Anya Petrovich. Yeah.
Yes.
You got to get a bunch more compliments here. Like this entire line is stunning. These are amazing. Yeah, I love this line. Yeah, great.
Hey.
Come on, you can do it.
New molds and bucks.
Bring it forward.
New molds and bucks. Great for new parts customizing. Yeah, that's awesome. Yep.
Oh, this is retarded, man. Like I paid like an extra $100 just for this one, just so we get the focus and no.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Wow.
So she looks just like me.
Dom, is that you?
Wow.
Is that you?
Stunning.
Come on. Okay,
so the camo breakdowns are different between all of them too. Like the first ones, you had like a black and gray. Then you had Rooster, who's got all like very like Joe said, hit and run. And then here you've got kind of like a Eastern European color scheme going on there with like the lime green with olive green kind of mix going on too. What was your choice for choosing the different color patterns? Was it just to add variety to the line instead of just one palette?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we want things to be, each character to have its own signature look, its own person, similar to how. Oh, really? Wow.
Well, your hand was in there, I think.
Yeah,
Steve, that piece of paper is not working. Get that out of there.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. Oh,
there you go. Hey.
Hey.
Wow. That was just about hammer time for that webcam.
That's actually perfect with the light. That is it right there. Only figures there. Don't mess with them. Yeah.
Screenshot that right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, I know you probably took these photos off of an earlier version of the toy. She looks even better in the version that's standing on your desk right now.
Yeah, I was going to say the head sculpt, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, the head sculpt looks much better. It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the females, we tried to bring in, with G.I. Joe. I don't want to put down G.I. Joe at all because I'm the biggest fan ever. But their shoulders were
grind
really
them into the ground.
No, their shoulders were really wide. There was no difference in the width of the shoulders between the male and the female and stuff like that. So we wanted to bring in the waist a bit more and keep the hips actually angle out a bit more, have more of a hourglass figure. And so we brought in the shoulders so she doesn't look like, you know, what have you. And in order to do that, we had to take the neck ball down to almost nothing. Like that line almost goes straight down, right?
Ah, so that was the reasoning there.
Hey, Josh is here. That
so
is
you won't be able to do a head swap on our ladies, unfortunately.
Well, at least they could go to another female buck though. So,
yes,
he means you can't take a Joe lady, like a Lady J head, and put it on that buck.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Josh, we found your spirit animal in this line.
Yeah, there you go, man.
That's
there
not
you
the dog.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, Casper looks great, man. So piggybacking on Dom's comment about the different camo schemes and whatnot, is that based on their backgrounds and like the bios and where they're coming from and stuff to join this like elite group?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I like keeping things realistic and then kind of mixing it up as well. You know, it's like, there is some traditional stuff in there. If you notice, I don't know if anyone can take a good guess at what she was originally designed to be with those colors, but she wasn't originally supposed to be a Polish special operations JW Grom operator.
Oh, so I was right with the Eastern European then. You said Polish?
Yeah, she's Polish.
Oh, I nailed it. Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely Polish.
Oh, man.
But she wasn't meant to be, Steve? She had an original...
She was originally supposed to be an IDF soldier.
Ah, gotcha.
So that's the dolphin rig that she's wearing there and all that stuff. Pretty similar to a dolphin rig. So
not indirect fire. You're talking... What's IDF in your acronym?
Oh, sorry. Israeli Defense Forces.
There you go. Okay. All right. Got it. So with the beret, absolutely, and the rig, that makes total sense. So, with the color scheme again, I was like, oh, it's very Eastern European, which is cool. I love the gloves too for some reason. Every time my eye like moves from that terrible headgear down to those gloves, though. I'm not bashing your.
Well, now that I realize the wrist swivel, I'm like paying way more attention to the hands too. And I'm like,
I know, right? Yeah. So it's like a big.
They don't all connect the same way. Is my point. Like some of the gloves look like they go over the wrist, and some of them look like they go into the sleeves. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We had a great sculptor that worked with us. Tommy Hodges did 9 of the 11, and Jesse Sandford did the other 2, and they both did an amazing job.
Yeah, and to give an idea, Tommy Hodges actually sculpted most of the Mondo Battle Cat that's been shown recently.
Oh wow!
So he didn't do the head, he said, but he did that. He did the deluxe Skeletor and the She-Ra all in 1/6 scale. So he's got quite a pedigree for sculpting.
Yes.
Well,
cool. He's amazing. Yeah. He's amazing.
So rounding out the Delta 17 squad, you've got these infantry troopers, and they come in 2 different skin tones.
Yes, these are the ones I'm into.
So you have the pale white Caucasian version. You have the darker skinned version.
Yeah.
That you can kind of, fudge to whatever you probably want it to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, so these are our 2 versions here. These guys have a fair amount of accessories. We wanted them to be, so this is your green shirt. If you're going to army build a green shirt, they've got a pretty much a full face helmet, except for the mouth is not covered. Nice contrast between the greens. We gave them a G36 HK G36C rifle, and then they've got don't fail me now, come on, K-bar knife. Yes, thank you. Ooh, that was close. K-bar knife, and then it comes with 3 rockets, and 1 sits inside the launcher itself. So this is we modeled it after a Law rocket. It's a little bit modified. It has a handle as well, so the guy can actually hold it really nicely, and it works nice. And then when you take off their pack, there's there's a gas mask in there that stores in there.
That's awesome. That's what we saw. And I was like wildly impressed with that.
Oh, thank you.
More of that in Wave 2, Steve.
Well, we'll see. This thing has been a real pain in the butt. Like, I don't know if people are going to be too excited about it, because there's times where it clips in really, really nicely, and then there's times where it just doesn't seem like it's working. It's got to go around the head and clip into these holes in the back, and sometimes there's a bit of a gap on his face. Like my hands don't work the way they used to, so I don't have it on properly right now.
It's all right. That fits really well though with the visor. I also like the pseudo sci-fi look for the heads. The visor down there, and that's the appeal again. Like just that slight projection of future tech. Like what would this
the
look
little
like
bit of a
10
blur.
years? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's what G.I. Joe used to be too. Was that classic like introducing prototype weapons? Even as early in the 80s, are introducing prototype weaponry too. So
For sure.
yeah, this is cool, man. And then you got a lot of good comments here again. It's like army builders, like yes, that is what's appealing to hear is those. And then Neil said the light green, like I like the olive touch in these two. It's classic. The details really pop up here.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. Yeah, like it's always hard to. I'm a real stickler for keeping everything really realistic. I'm just 100% military. That's how I like stuff. But at the same time, I know that my customers aren't on the same page. You know, we like some sci-fi. In reality, there is technology out there that they have not shown us. There is classified stuff that it does exist. You know, whether it's rail guns, lasers, etc. That stuff exists.
That's what I'm saying. Like to project 10 years ahead from now, it's not that far fetched that people have heads-up displays. It's not that far fetched that you have. You know, like that's why I didn't bag on classified. I'm like classified. They're just looking ahead a little bit in the future. It's not totally like phasers or anything like that, but so let me calculate 25, 50, 75, 100. So that's a 4-man team. So $200. So like I gotta like slowly. Now here's the other thing too.
Each one of the Cork figures needs at least 3 or 4 guys.
So this isn't a window that these are available, right? I don't have to like take out my credit card and be like, all right, I gotta spend all the money now or I won't get it, right? This is gonna be on the site. And I can like every paycheck slowly just accumulate army builders, right?
Yes. We ordered big, you know, and people don't have to panic. Like there's no like, oh, you know, the window's open and buy now. Oh, sold out. Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Ken did have to dip off at a certain point. So But, you know, maybe he'll be back for After Dark. Did we talk about that?
I hope so. I think so. I hope so.
Army builders with rocket launchers going to need some tough vehicles to go against that. Hey, man, you know, they're the weapons team of the platoon. So
that's right.
So let's take a look at some of the
vehicles
villains,
coming.
Steve.
All right, cool.
Whoa! You have vehicles coming?
There's something. Okay, I can't disclose too much as to what's coming for Joe Fest, but
don't say anything you don't want to say.
Okay,
that's enough. If it's just there's vehicles coming, then that you can leave it there.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks for jumping on here, buddy. I know you had to take off early. You can always interrupt and say goodbye, Ken. It's okay. It's all right. So,
you could have just yelled at us.
No, he's polite. He's such a polite dude.
Yeah, I know, he's polite. Just disappeared.
This Russian freaking.
Yeah. So this is the retrograde.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
This is our Spetsnaz trooper. We call him Thunder Battalion. So you can buy as many of these as you want. You can buy even 100, and I won't mind. So he's got a removable helmet. There's one mistake on this. This is our FEP sample. So it's our final sample before production. They're being produced right now, but they painted his face mask black. It's actually supposed to be the same gray as these straps to give a bit of contrast. So they made one last mistake to make me feel good right before production, right?
yeah. They got to get that last one in on you.
Yeah, they're just like, you know. So thanks, you buggers. But anyway,
perfect except for this.
Yeah, right, eh? So I was quite appreciative of that. But we managed to get a little retrograde tampo on his arm.
Looks cool.
Looks really good. Yeah.
Wow.
He comes with an AK-12 rifle, and then he's got a soft PVC belt on. It's a belt order, and you know it can be removed. It's got the same sort of latch system as Outback had, where you just pops in really easy.
Okay.
You know.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an instant
that was a
pop.
good pulling system. I despise the peg through the circular hole like belt system.
Yeah.
Hey, Joey Adams.
Hey, Joey.
The Spirit, the one they used on Spirit wasn't very good, but the one they used on Outback was really good. So we did that.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And then so the helmet clips up. It'll actually click in the upward position, and then you can put it down. He comes with 2 different visors. So one is going to have a hole there so you can see his eyes if you want to use that, and one will have the red if you want a pop of color.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
love the idea that like the time that you took with this figure and also the green shirt to make them sort of like a modern 6-inch figure where you have like an alternate head sculpt, and then you have the gas mask, and you can have it on or off, and like you can have quite a few of those figures
Variety.
and kind of kit them up ever so slightly differently, and make and just add a little bit of personality with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Really awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so backpack, there's one paint app on there. On his belt, there's one paint app for the IFAC, the individual first aid kit. But yeah, he's pretty neat. He's got a hood sculpted into him there. His outfit is actually extremely similar to what the Spetsnaz troopers are currently wearing. We just added a few extra little belts and pouches. I changed the pouches a bit, but they do have this titanium helmet, the same one that they really wear. And when it clips on, it's extremely snug. So it's nice.
I love that it clicks into the upper position, so it's not going to be like falling down in front of the. Like if you wanted it up, you're not gonna and start playing with the figure. It's not gonna keep falling down in front of his face if you wanted it up. Like that, it's just little attention to details like that I'm like, wow, that's that comes from the brain of somebody that played with G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't come from like
what annoyed me when I was running around. Yeah, what was annoyed me when I was running around? Oh, my bipods kept clicking off.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying for a kid, you know.
You got a few, enemy base from 92 Joe Face. Oh, nice. So he's gonna put those guys too. Very cool.
Wow, that'd be cool.
And then Gaz says these are my favorite figure next to Shepard.
Nice.
I agree with that. And then there was another one here too with a relief fund. I lost it in the comments here, but the first purchase to go to a relief fund. Here it is. I did see you make this post too earlier last week, I think. Here you go. Congo Relief Fund for rescuing children from trafficking. Talk about that.
Oh, okay. So we partnered up. There's a guy in my church, and he started. I don't know if he started the orphanage or if he's just sort of taken over the Canadian operations. But I've known him for about 15 years. Very nice guy, and they run an orphanage called Grace Congo Orphanage in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, so the DRC. And they just added 16 new girls just this year, and they want to expand. It's sort of been slow going for them, you know, but we're hoping that we can change that. So he actually met up with this guy who's been rescuing children out of Cambodia. So this guy has been going into the slavery business and pulling these girls out. He's rescued 700 girls.
Dang.
From slavery, and they're all under 18. And he approached this guy in the Congo, and he said, you know, we'd like to start doing this in the Congo. We'd like to partner up with you under your umbrella to start a new foundation. And so we are going to be giving 10% at least of our profits to the orphanage / child rescue foundation that's in the process of being set up. So
that's amazing.
We want to expand that as time goes by and actually, you know, go beyond 10%. 10% is cute and all, but you know, I'm not here just to collect, you know, sit on a pile of gold, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, great cause from Sig.
I like that you're doing that out the gate. It's not like you went to certain. You know, it's not like you did wave 1 and 2 and then you're like, okay, now we're comfortable and we can do this. Like you're like right away, you're like, at least a portion of this needs to benefit not just me and my company, you know.
Well, exactly. It's good to dedicate things in a certain way and get the direction going right from the get-go, right?
And then for people like Jerry, now he can tell his wife they're toys for a good cause, so he can buy more. Great. Yeah, and Joey says amazing. Yeah, I agree. That's awesome.
Steven, you just got to move her into the sweet spot.
Yeah, there you go. And then, why did you should have marked it on your desk?
Like,
just get out a Sharpie. There you go. There you go. See? Nailed it.
Now
yeah, she looks awesome.
She's too close for comfort.
No, it's okay. It's in. Yep. There you go. Yeah, look at that.
Okay, so she's kind of modeled after, you know, maybe the 90s style, maybe a bit earlier, even the 80s sort of Soviet era, but she's Russian. She's heard all the stories from her grandpa and her uncles of how wonderful and strong the Soviet Union was. So she kind of looks back to those days, realizes it's not possible to recreate that type of system. So instead, she's just gone full mercenary. She'll build her own nation somewhere else. She doesn't care.
Like the Wagner private military group.
There you go. Yeah. Wagner.
Yeah, Wagner. Yep.
Stop being that way. Anyways, yeah. Backpack. There's a spare, ammo drum in there, and there's an old potato masher grenade on this side. She likes old tech. She'll rebuild stuff herself, just to give it to the man. And then she uses an AKS 74U machine gun. It's not 7.62 by 39. I forget what it is, but it's got a 75 round drum on there.
Jeez.
So yeah, I wanted to portray her as being like maximum violence, maximum firepower, right? So it was either that or the BKP BP or this, right? And I thought, well, let's keep it small and just give her.
G.I. Joe was pretty good about this too, but I really, for the most part, enjoy that you took what she's actually using on her rifle with the drum and added that to the molded into the backpack, like kind of thing. And you're just like, that attention to detail is really stellar.
Yeah, it's fun. It's all fun.
I also am nerding out with the weapons talk here too. So, so Starboy Station, thanks so much. Another YouTube man, you guys
thank you, Starboy.
Awesome. Yeah, geez, it's all part of that same network that we love to be able to host and have on and be able to this community, man. It's great. Steve, you were gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to complain about my focus again, but I think people have heard that. Detail.
Now, is the web gear is not separate? That's sculpted on, right? I can't.
No, that's sculpted detail.
Okay, I couldn't tell from the So, also giving a real Dom vibe too. Yeah, no, I see it. I see it. It's the cheekbones.
I see what it is.
Yeah, nice.
Dom looks like the ladies. I get it.
Okay.
Delta 17 is bringing out the awesome people. I agree. All
right, so getting into the Dark Shadows part of the faction.
Oh, I didn't know it was divided. Oh, that's right. There is a man.
Yeah, I want you to speak on that in a minute, but let's look at the figures first, I suppose.
Okay, which one do you want to start with?
What do you want? Whatever you want, Steve.
We'll do the Robot Ninja.
All right.
Okay, so that's Okami.
That's good that you have it there because that's a dark picture.
Yeah. So that's a Japanese word that stands for wolf or wolves. The internet was not fully decided on that one, so I'll just feign ignorance. But yeah, it's Robot Ninja. Both hands come off and can be replaced with accessory weapons that are compatible with the G.I. Joe bats, right?
Whoa, that's good.
That's smart of you.
Yeah, so this backpack was pretty hard to design, so we kind of went all out with it. There's two little pegs up there. You probably can't see them, but his hands can come off and store away
underneath
the gun. And then what do we got? We got little hand swords, so you got two of these, so the guy can go double, chopper, and get all your vegetables cut real quick.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so the wife will like that. Or you've got one submachine gun, so you can do one short sword and one submachine gun. It also has a pistol grip on here in case someone wants to take it off his dead body.
Right. Yeah. That's
nice.
Awesome. And then two longsword katanas, your regular length. And the backpack is similar to Rooster's in the way that it subdivides.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So
you can take off the bulk, or if you don't want the swords on there, that's great.
Yeah, so you got two different backpack options. So this I call the light assault. The gun goes on here in two katanas, and you can just do that one if you want with a bunch of stuff, or you put them all together, and then I just call it the full carry mode.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with the troop builders, your options for creating a certain level of customization just within what's coming in the package.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we wanted people to be, happy about it, excited about it, right? So he's got, a bunch of throwing knives on his chest. What's that?
Here's Robot Ninja, mouth opens and really focuses it. also Hidden Force, which is the other O-ring ninja.
Yeah, they went
line,
like
too.
full ninja.
They have but
most
they
part.
have also removable hands too. So like you could
okay.
possibly, you know what I mean? So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. Maybe I'm figuring out the light. Right at the end, I'll figure out the light and the focus, right?
oh, perfect. You're
Right at the
growing.
end.
You're growing with us, Steve. It's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I have a motto.
It's all like, we're fine. You're showing off your stuff, and it's amazing.
Robot
I've got
ninja.
pictures to offset.
Yeah, the back
focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Robot
right?
Ninja Genius needs a huge Gatling gun weapon, and Multiverse is definitely down for these. So,
oh, nice, thank you. Yeah, so he's got a sai over here, 3 ninja stars on each leg, right? Bunch of throwing knives.
I like the modern yet ninja boot he's wearing, or robotic / ninja.
Yeah,
Cyber Ninja.
Oh, come on. Yeah, don't be a jerk. Okay, I'm just gonna have to buy a broadcast TV camera or something like that.
Yeah, just get a red. Just get a
There you
red.
go. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks good.
Man,
I can see him. I can
this
see
is
him.
like 4D.
Nice.
Oh, here's a question from Steven to Steve. Which is your favorite?
Which one is your favorite?
I'm not allowed to say that. I have 4 kids, and people ask me that one as well, and it's like, no, can't do that, right?
You tell them neither. Yeah, none.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's not that you love them equally. It's that you just genuinely don't care for them.
Yeah.
I have the opposite answer. I told them right away. Well, Violet.
So Joe, we got a question. Which one is your favorite? I think I know mine.
It's a tough call so far.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, the Dom.
I really like Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm really loving the Troop Builder.
I'm going with the green shirts. I'm like, honest,
Wow,
yes. I really want to bulk up on those.
I mean, man, because you can buy. I could buy 8 of those.
Yeah.
Just I love the guys that have personality. I love the personality.
Yep.
I love Leonidas.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing with the line. Don't get me wrong. But the green Troop Builders, I mean, like, I could use those for anything, So I
probably, you know how hard that sculptor worked to get those guys' faces, and you went with the maskless guys, like.
Yeah, right.
No, you know what? Honestly, if I had to pick one, Rooster might be my favorite. I think.
Yeah.
The hit and run nostalgia vibe hits real hard with that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
he's a good one.
He's a great sculpt too.
Yeah, this Task Force figure games, Leonidas is his favorite. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I mean, the Delta 17 infantry with the gas mask that goes into the backpack and all the different gear, and you can swap out the heads, change the skin tone. Like, just versatility wise, just fantastic. Although that being said, so was the Retrograde infantry as well.
Right.
Scary Lady is my fave, and then we've got Rooster and Death Sparrow. Yep. Oh, call it now. The one we haven't seen yet, the not Firefly, would be Dom's favorite. That is my favorite villain. So, all right, let's see what else you got back here. I see.
All right, well, let's bring out the Dark Shadows Assassins, Steve. So so we can show Dom his new favorite.
Right. So to clarify, the Dark Shadows are in charge. All right, but they happen to hire some mercenaries, so that's where Retrograde comes in.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
I was wondering about the factions and how that fit in, because I know the villains are the Dark Shadows, but I didn't know if, since you had 2 factions of villains, I didn't know if it was like a Destro arms dealer Mars type situation, or if it was
like Dreadnoks kind of pulling a better qualified Dreadnoks. Yeah. I like the one that looks. Oh, we have to start over. Because Ty's here. We got to restart. Go back over to the beginning.
Yeah, right from the beginning.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So
I love you attempting this paper, Steve.
Yeah, and everything just fell down behind it, so this is awesome.
It's all right.
Let's focus.
I feel like you're trying too hard. It's all right. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Okay.
Figured it out.
You
needed the paper at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
Yeah, so that's Jaguar. He's our silent assassin. He never takes his mask off, never takes his goggles off, never speaks out loud because he wants no one to have any idea. Is he South African? Is he Asian? Who knows, right? We don't know. So he's got a little Morse code style device and a little, like a little almost like, smartphone / Morse code thing. So that's how he communicates with the robots as well as with his leader and all that stuff. So nobody ever hears him. But he comes with a Chris Vector submachine gun. And he also has a sniper rifle that pegs onto the back. So if you want to take the rifle off and use that, the Vector will clip onto the pack.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Come on, focus,
awesome.
please.
Too often in G.I. Joes, you could store one weapon but not the other, or something like that.
Yeah.
Mandalorian with snake eyes. Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, that's actually Mando. That's right. And then he's got 2 sword batons. So these are like police batons, right? How does he collect his paycheck? Nice.
It's all cryptocurrency.
It's just
oh, look at that. That's cool.
You went way technical with it, huh? I was just gonna say they just write they write his checks out to cash.
Yeah,
that's right. So
cool.
These sword batons, you can use them along his forearm for blockers, or you can flip them around for a stabby stab, right? So he's got 2 of those.
Yeah,
and
really cool.
He's really good with the swords and all that stuff. So we don't know what his origin is, and all we know is that he's a pain in the butt and very deadly and all that stuff. So stop it.
Yeah, all right. I love that. I love all of that. That's great.
The Vector submachine is always so cool looking. That's like the go-to
Look at that thing.
for sci-fi weapons too. It's like, oh, use this cool thing, right? So it's an awesome SMG there. So man, that guy's cool.
I got a Vector here in my safe, and I love it.
No way! Seriously? Oh man.
I love the tiger stripe camo you went with on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know where I got that influence from. It just popped out of thin air, right?
I'm always
I've never seen that on any GI Joe like figure before ever.
Never been done, So I was just like, why has no one ever done this? So
I know.
Hey, what's up, electric?
You always make like an entire force of tiger striped people if you want to.
Yeah, but what would you call them? Like,
I have no idea.
Paw Patrol. I call it Paw Patrol.
Yeah, probably Paw Patrol. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Kitty Brigade.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
The Dark Shadow Supreme Leader. This is very Cobra Commander inspired with the mask and
with the Night Creeper, with Destro. There's a good blend of like villainous and with the kind of the ninja angle as well too, with that Gundam V up there. That's very cool.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like dragon horns, right?
And,
but they're a little bit
helmet almost.
Yeah, he's a samurai based kind of dude. Like he's got the leg armor.
Yeah, the armor. Yeah.
He's got some armor on his butt as well underneath the cape. Come on.
Is that cloth goods? Sold.
Yeah. Yep. Cloth goods. It's got a wire in the bottom as well, so you can select.
No way. No way. That's amazing.
Yeah, this guy cost us like an extra $1 something compared to all the other guys. They're like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yes, must be done."
Yes,
Stuff it.
Must be done. I mean, as a child, like one of my favorites was Gold Destro with that one shoulder cape. I was just such a good cloth goods. Like it was a step up beyond like Mindbender with the little punch his arms and holes for his arms, and like it was kind of stiff and papery. Like Destro actually felt like cloth,
Yeah. Kamen Rider. That's right. That does invoke those.
Kamen Rider.
Yeah. Spared no expense.
Yeah.
Oh,
he is the Supreme Leader.
This is his favorite.
So, being more of a military guy, like, why did you go so robot ninja
question too?
Cobra Commander with the bad guys? Yeah, with the villains. Yeah,
I know.
I shouldn't. Like, part of me is like, no, we must not, and then the other part is like, well, dude, like, people love this stuff, and
is that what it is? Like, people are gonna love that. Is that what? Is that where your mind went on that? Yeah.
Like as hardcore military as I love everything to be, I'll watch Akira or Blade Runner just as much as I'll watch 13 Hours or
there you go.
Fury, right?
Yeah.
There is in the realm of sci-fi, when you find really, really good sci-fi, it's some of the best stuff you'll see out there, right? Stop it. Come on.
The answer is because it looks really cool. Yeah, no,
no, I mean, and that's a fair answer. But if there was another reason, I wanted to know.
No. So Joe, I had the same question too. it's also a fun juxtaposition between like, hey, here's olive drab, green military, standardized versus your more extreme villains too. So
well, also you can have this extreme villain supreme leader, standing in front of 100 of these guys, kind of.
Yes,
so the regular military infantry there, like you've got that, and especially with Death Sparrow as well, so like you've got that like militaristic aspect of the bad guys.
It just makes things a bit, toys are supposed to be fun. Sometimes I forget that, so instead of having one side being beige and the other side being tan, I figured, might as well throw a bit of color, a bit of fun in it. But cool. there is a good portion of me that would like to stay true. So the swords clip in here really nice and snug.
I was just looking at how those clipped in. That's awesome.
Yeah. We worked on that for way too long. And then, they pop out. And the cool thing is if you're like, this is too formal, you can just take the back piece off.
That's his dual mode.
I was like, is that
right
built
there?
in, or is that like pop off, or because wow?
That's the anime style. Awesome. It goes whoosh, and like tosses the cape up. Just like
yeah. So,
are you ready to fight? He takes out the swords and then whips off his cape.
Yeah, that's right.
He looks
and
amazing.
Then the ninja
yeah.
Come on.
So here's a question too. I forgot to ask this. Where does the 17 and Delta 17 come from?
Okay, 17 is the highest level of security clearance available in the United States government. So the 17th level, if you're 17th level, you are known as, I can't say the word out loud. Anyways, it's the highest level of security clearance in the United States. Oh, I hate this camera.
Hold on. There. Stop. You got it. Nailed it.
Thank you.
Don't even move your finger.
Yeah. So
it's the best number. Yep.
His shoulder armor, front and back, is an extra piece. His armor on his arms are an extra piece. His face is an extra piece that glues on. Plus soft goods. Plus, we went out and got a custom rifle made. Well, it wasn't made. Sorry, a guy designed it already on ArtStation. It's called the Surricate, and it's really quite popular. So I asked the guy if I could pass him some money and just use it for this dude. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So his name is Wouter Kroon. He's in, I think, Sweden, and really great designer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So the shoulder armor, does it come off, or is it just a separate piece from the mold?
A separate piece from the mold. So the front, more guys are falling over here. I'm such a klutz, man.
Now the Supreme Leader is here.
Yeah, he's like, get out of here, right? Anyways, the front piece is glued on, the arm pieces are glued on, but just the back panel comes off, so you can do the cape, no cape, right? Like, what's her name?
From Edmund Mole. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No capes.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I do want to take a moment to highlight what you're doing with the packaging here.
Okay.
So, this is super cool and very reminiscent of an old school G.I. Joe. I love how you're making these. And this is a weird note, but not so much with these. All right, so hold on, let me grab it. But these ones, when you pack in a troop builder, I noticed you didn't make it an individual photo or like a drawing of the character. You put multiple. You're like it's a very subtle but like obvious indication of like you can buy multiple of these. This is the troop builder packages. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool nod to like, hey, look what you can do with this figure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, every troop builder comes with 2 guys on the package. So
yeah, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those pictures that you're seeing, those are just fabbed up. That's not how they're actually coming. I have the samples here for how they'll be. This is the final sample, all packaged and everything. So,
look at that, yeah.
Oh, that art's so cool.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Oh, Ken, thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it, dude. Still with us.
Talk to you later, Ken.
Yeah, that's right. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding.
And Ken loves this pudding.
Yes.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah, real cool. Oh, I like that air filter too. That's good.
No, that's for sticking toothpicks in, and then it's got the little clips, and you hold things up to paint it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Mr. Paint Station, which we're also selling, will be bundled in with every Delta 17
Nice.
order.
Just in case you wanted to do more of that.
You know, just customize. They have true works of art. Yeah, really cool.
Call now, and you'll get this organic dish scrubber as well.
These are great, man. Oh, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting more and more excited about this line.
Yes.
Yeah, these look great. The box art looks awesome. You did a really good job.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Joe, should we do our what you gots for the after dark? Should we hold those for the after dark? So we're already pushing like 10:30. Should we pivot?
I mean, yeah, if you want to. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we can do that.
Steve, is there anything else you want to talk before we go to the after dark, which is behind for members only? Is there anything else you want to be able to talk about this line to everybody here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've got 12 guys coming first line. I'm hoping we can do some sort of a bundle thing. You know, these are all things that I want to do, but it all depends which stores we work with and what they want to do. And Wave 2 is currently being worked on. There's hopefully 2 vehicles coming for the first or the second wave. We'll see.
Wow.
And then there's a filler figure that comes in between. All new mold, all new tooling that comes for Joe Fest 2024.
I'll be there.
Yes, excellent. And it'll be quite an interesting figure. I'll just leave it at that. It's going to be lot of fun, that one. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm excited.
So everybody that wants these, find this website, delta17toys.com, and you can go to the store and find a lot more information. I mean, if you look at these factions, you can see the figures with a little bio and a backstory, with a Dark Shadow Supreme Leader, unknown. But you know, like you can figure stuff out.
Getting to know you.
But yeah, this there is more about the story and about what you guys are doing over there on the website if they want to.
And of course, follow him on IG. That's where he's making all his posts too. Those photos you saw in there too are seen on IG. So definitely go and give them a follow. Yeah, awesome.
Target? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wish.
Win. Okay, so Steven, who is very goldfish memory.
When
can we buy this? Let's end on that. When are these hitting?
Okay, so November this year sometime they'll be available. We'll let everyone know on Instagram. And and again, like people you don't have to panic. Like it's not like we only made 1,000 of these. Our numbers are actually pretty high.
Yeah, they made about 500, so they won't.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Like it's going to be almost Christmas by that time. You don't have to. You can still feed your children, and buy these things on a when it suits you kind of a thing.
Dom stocking stuffers. That's what these are called.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
My wife will be like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm just gonna send her the link to this.
Here's
website.
a link. You know what I like.
Just whatever.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just surprise me.
Nice.
Well, guys, that's pushing an hour and a half here. So we're gonna jump over to the after dark. So for those members, stay tuned. The link should be on a community post on YouTube. I almost said Facebook for some reason. On YouTube, there's a members only community post. So go there, click that, and you should be able to go over to the after dark here. But Steve, thanks so much for jumping on here. Ken, I know you're listening while you're washing dishes too. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Joe, I think
we won toys.
I think Steve won toys.
I think Steve did win.
I think Steve crushed it, man. So like,
I don't feel like we or I mean, I don't think we need to do this anymore.
No, this is it, man.
Oh,
like we're good.
yeah.
Like why?
That's
There's no other toy land.